India's youth-led Cockroach movement is threatening to return to the streets just days after suspending nationwide protests and declaring victory. Organizers say the government has failed to honor key commitments. The Cockroach Janta Party, or CJP, says students continue to face arrests, detention, and criminal cases across India. The group claims at least 100 people have been arrested, with some facing non-bailable charges. Those figures have not been independently verified, and the government has not publicly confirmed the total number of arrests. But the movement says the reported arrests contradict government assurances that convinced it to suspend its demonstrations.
और जितने भी अलग-अलग राज्यों में छात्रों को, युवाओं को, प्रोटेस्टर्स को अरेस्ट किया गया है या डिटेन किया गया है, उन्हें रिलीज नहीं किया जाता है, तो कॉकरोच जनता पार्टी फिर से प्रोटेस्ट करने को मजबूर होगी.
The warning comes just days after what appeared to be a major breakthrough. On July 25th, Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan resigned following weeks of nationwide demonstrations over examination paper leaks and alleged irregularities in India's testing system. Soon afterwards, the CJP suspended its protests following talks with senior government ministers.
So the resignation of Dharmendra Pradhan is definitely a surprise because it is not in Mr. Modi's temperament to take a backstep. So one expected that he, having tried one round of using forces on the protesters, he may have attempted to do something more drastic to ensure that the protesters were simply dispersed from the protesting side.
India's government, ruled by the right-wing Bharatiya Janata Party, or BJP, had, according to media reports, agreed to introduce examination reforms, compensate the families of students who died by suicide following the paper leak scandal, and withdraw police cases against protesters. But the movement is now questioning whether the government's promises will actually be implemented. CJP leaders say reports of fresh arrests and continued police action have emerged since demonstrations were suspended. They are demanding the immediate release of those detained and the withdrawal of all criminal cases against protesters. The movement has also established a legal defense fund to support those facing prosecution. Its leaders warn demonstrations could resume unless the government follows through on what it promised.
आसाम में मैंने जहाँ लॉयर्स से बात करी, पता चला है कि कुछ 7-8 FIRs हैं जिसके अगेंस्ट लॉयर्स जो हैं मदद कर रहे हैं. एक लॉयर को भी अरेस्ट करा गया है जिसको जुडिशियल कस्टडी में भेजा गया है. तो उसके लिए भी जो बेल के लिए जितने भी चीज़ें करनी है उसका लॉयर उनके हेल्प कर रहे हैं. जहाँ तक बात है कलकत्ता कोलकाता की, वहाँ पे 11 लोगों को अरेस्ट करा गया है जिसमें से 10 मुस्लिम हैं. तो इससे हमें पता चल रहा है कि कैसे आप एक कम्युनिटी को टारगेट कर रहे हैं.
Analysts say the movement's priorities have now shifted. Its original campaign focused on leaked examination papers and the resignation of the education minister. Today, its immediate concern is whether the government will honor the commitments that brought the protests to an end. That includes the fate of students and organizers who are still facing criminal proceedings. The Cockroach movement first emerged online in May. Using satire, memes, and social media, it channeled growing frustration among young Indians over education, unemployment, and limited economic opportunities. The movement spilled onto the streets after allegations that questions from India's national medical entrance examination had been leaked. Around 2 million students were affected after the examination results were cancelled and a retest was ordered. The CJP began organizing demonstrations in New Delhi before expanding its campaign to cities across the country. Its main protest site became Jantar Mantar, near India's parliament. The movement rapidly gained momentum online, where protesters shared videos, updates, and satirical content directly with millions of young followers. Tensions escalated on July 20th, when thousands attempted to march towards Parliament. Police used tear gas and batons to stop demonstrators, sparking clashes. Authorities said officers were enforcing the law. The police's brutal response, however, fueled further protests and drew opposition politicians into the campaign. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi joined demonstrations in support of the students and was briefly detained.
This is a warning to them.
This is a warning from the students of India, this is a warning from the opposition that you cannot run India the way you have been running. This is not your personal fiefdom. This is not something that belongs to you. This belongs to the people of India. This belongs to the Constitution of India. All these institutions, they do not belong to you. If you carry on down this path, you will see that what has happened right now will be at 10 times the scale.
The CJP welcomed support from opposition parties but insisted it remain an independent movement. Its leaders said they would accept political backing but would not allow political parties to take control of its movement or campaigns. The government has since announced plans to overhaul India's examination system and introduce tougher penalties for paper leaks. But the latest dispute risks overshadowing those proposed reforms. Analysts say the immediate test is whether the government delivers on the promises that persuaded protesters to leave the streets, and how the CJP response could shape the future of one of India's biggest youth movements in recent years.
इस देश के युवा ने दिखा दिया है, अगर वो एक साथ आ जाए तो किसी को भी झुका सकती है, किसी का भी इस्तीफा ले सकती है।